Women rule the internet, at least according to Aileen Lee, a partner at the venture capital firm Kleiner Perkins Caufield Byers. Believe it or not, women have more friends on Facebook than men, buy more Groupons than men, and even play more games on Zynga. Lee says that is proof tech startups need to focus on the influential female market if they want to build a successful company. Aileen sat down with me in a rare on-camera interview to explain why.
I had this thesis about women being the power users of the internet, and I knew anecdotally that casual gamers were primarily women. And obviously, if you look at some of the companies that I've had the chance to work with, like Rent the Runway or One Kings Lane or Plum District, it's mostly women. But basically, just spending a bunch of hours doing the research and finding that it's also true on Facebook. It's also true on Twitter. It's also true on sites where you may not have guessed that it was not 50-50, but that women really are the power users, and they're also the power sharers. So that women retweet more, or they post more pictures, or they're more likely to comment on someone else's post. So that if you really want to get your viral loop going, making sure that you have enough women using your service.
Given this information, why aren't more tech companies or startups run by women?
I think there are more than ever where women are founders or co-founders or have leadership positions. I mean, we still have lots more work to do, but these things do take time, right? Where there's a feeder pool of women that ideally more women need to graduate from undergraduate with technical degrees, because that's going to feed the pool of product managers and engineers and other people who are going to help build great products, and also in design and in UI. So, I mean, women are I think it's 57% of undergraduate degrees are earned by women, but only something like 18% of engineering degrees are earned by women. So, you know, one of the things that I think we can do is, if you know a teenager or if you know someone in middle school, I think it's a great thing to encourage more young women, expose them to how many amazing career opportunities you have if you know how to code.
You guys place a lot of You place CEOs at various portfolio companies and people in other positions. From your perspective, how important is it to have women in the higher ranks?
Right. You know, it's funny, I was reading on the web recently that the engineering team that built the first voice recognition system, when they actually tried it out with women, it didn't work, because the engineers that built the application had coded it for their own voice octaves, and so the system didn't actually recognize higher voice octaves. So for 50% of the population, the product did not work. So I think that's a really good example where not actually realizing that women are customers and having women involved in the design and product process caused an entire build to fail. But I just think in general there are lots of studies from the Kaufman Institute, from business schools, that show that greater diversity on teams lead to better outcomes.
Sheryl Sandberg recently said women are not going to be as successful as men until they are as ambitious as men. Do you agree with that?
Sheryl's been great about saying, you know, don't leave before you leave, right? And ask for a seat at the table. And I think that she is right. That, look, I don't blame people for wanting to make sure they're always prepared and making sure they're ready for things. But I think the downside of that is you don't take risks. And the Silicon Valley mindset, regardless of where you live, is about taking risks and trying things when you're not necessarily ready.
I do want to ask you quickly about Groupon, because Groupon just went public, big IPO. Congratulations to you guys, your investors. Looking at Groupon, there's been a lot of skepticism about the long-term viability of their business model and daily deals in general. How confident are you that it's sustainable?
I think local is a huge untapped opportunity we've just gotten started with. And Groupon is obviously the pioneer and the biggest in the category. And they've got personal relationships with thousands, I don't even know what the number is now, of local businesses and globally. You know, the coupon business, newspaper advertisements, the entertainment book, Valpak, those are businesses that have been around for decades and have generated billions of dollars of revenue, both for the companies but also for the merchants.
My interview with Kleiner Perkins' Aileen Lee.